know that fractions represent parts of a whole. The number on the top of the fraction line is called the numerator. It tells us how many equal parts of the whole are taken. The number below the line is called the denominator. It tells us the total number of equal parts the whole has been divided into. And here's an interesting fact that not many people know. The fraction actually means 1 divided by 2. Because if you look carefully, the fraction itself is very similar to the division symbol. And that reminds you that it actually means to divide. We can see here that the Easter egg has been divided equally into 2 parts. And this is shown by the denominator. The numerator above the fraction line shows us which part of the whole we are referring to. We're going to start by finding the fractions of an amount where the numerator is 1. So, have a look at this question here. We're being asked to circle 1/3 of the Easter eggs. The easiest way of calculating fractions of amounts is by using a bar model. First, we draw our bar model and add in the information that we already know. In this case, we know that the whole amount is 12 because that's how many Easter eggs there are. And we want to divide those 12 eggs into 3 equal parts. And the denominator under the fraction line gives us that information. Now, all we need to do is divide the whole amount by 3, and this will give us the value of 1 part. So, 12 is the total number of Easter eggs. We're going to divide it into 3 equal parts because that's what the denominator tells us to do. And 12 divided by 3 is 4. So each of these parts is worth 4. Now, I know that I only need 1 of those parts. So I'm going to colour in 1 of those parts, and we can see that that gives us 4. And therefore, 1/3 of 12 equals 4. Brilliant. So now we know we need to circle 4 of the eggs because 1/3 of 12 is 4. Now it's your turn. Can you find 1/4 of these Easter eggs? Use a bar model to help you. How did you get on? We can see here that we have 8 eggs altogether. So to find 1/4, we just need to do the sum 8 divided by 4, which equals 2. So therefore, 1/4 of 8 is 2. Now we're going to look at what happens when we're finding the fraction of an amount where the numerator is more than 1. So here we're being asked to circle 3/4 of the Easter eggs. Once again, we start off by drawing our bar model, and then we add in the information that we already know. In this case, we know the whole amount is 12, because that's how many eggs there are, and we want to divide those eggs into 4 equal parts, because that's the number that the denominator shows. We start by doing the same as we did before. We need to divide the whole amount by the total number of parts, which is shown by the denominator. So the whole amount is 12, and we need to share it into 4 equal parts. And 12 divided by 4 is 3. I know this because 3 times 4 is 12. So now I can fill in 3 into each of my 4 parts. Now this time though, we've got something else to do. We need to look at the numerator because this tells us how many parts we actually need, and that's 3. So now we simply multiply 3 by 3 because we want 3 parts. And I can show that by colouring them in. 1, 2, 3. And 3 lots of 3 is 9. Therefore, 3/4 of 12 is 9. Ta-da! Now we know that 3/4 of 12 is 9. So we can circle 9 of the Easter eggs. Now it's your turn. Can you find 2/3 of the Easter eggs? Good luck. How did you get on? Let's check your answer. So we have 6 eggs altogether. So first of all, we want to find out what 1/3 of 6 is by doing the sum 6 divided by 3, which equals 2. Then we multiply that number by the numerator, which is 2. And 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. Therefore, 2/3 of 6 is 4. It's challenge time. Let's play Would You Rather. You will need to use your new finding fractions of amount skills to get your answer. So, would you rather have 2/3 of 15 Easter eggs or 3/8 of 16 Easter eggs? Have a think about how you might go about making your decision, and then we'll work through it together in a second. I'm going to start by filling in the information that I already know. So I'm going to pop my line across here like that, and then start filling in my information. So I know that I've got 15 Easter eggs in total. And according to my denominator, I need to share that into 3 equal parts. There we go. So let's write that down as a sum. I've got 15 and I'm going to share it into 3 equal parts. And 15 divided by 3 is 5 because 5 times 3 is 15. So I can now add my 5 in here. Good. Okay, but what I do need to remember this time is that I have a numerator of 2, and that tells me I need to colour in 2 of the parts. So there's 1, and there's 2. And I can write this as a sum as well. So I have 2 lots of 5 parts, which makes 10. And therefore, 2/3 of 15 equals 10. So if we choose that option, we get to snuffle 10 Easter eggs. Let's use the same technique to calculate 3/8 of 16 eggs. So I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to split my model in half like that. And then let's fill in the information that we know. So we know that the total number of eggs is 16. And our denominator tells us we need to share that into 8 equal parts. So I'm going to do that by popping it in half and then into quarters and then into eighths. And we have 16, and we're sharing that or dividing it into 8 equal parts. And I know that 16 divided by 8 is 2, because 2 multiplied by 8 is 16. So now we can fill in 2 into all of those parts. There we go. And now we turn our attention to the numerator, because that's going to tell us how many parts to colour in. And the answer to that is 3. So let's colour in 3 of the parts. 1, 2, 3. And as a sum, we can write that as 3 lots of 2 parts, and 3 multiplied by 2 is 6. So therefore, 3/8 of 16 equals 6. There you go. I don't know about you, but I would rather have 2/3 of 15 Easter eggs, that's for sure. So that's how you calculate fractions of amounts. Have a happy Easter from everyone at Golden Brain Academy.